All right, good evening. Thank you for coming. Thank you to the students and parents for taking time to come. Thank you to the employers who are going to stand back there and talk over top of me like they're my students. All right. It's a nice night. So, everybody's going to have 10 minutes to present their company, their benefits, their package, their career pathway for you. If you have any questions, obviously feel free to raise your hand and ask them. Some of the employers might hang out till the end. Some of them might have to roll out. Some might still be trickling in because traffic. But the main thing is here is just kind of taking in information. This time of the year is what we like to start the job shadow season. Shops are not overly busy right now typically, so it's a little bit better timing to get you guys and girls out there with mentor technicians and kind of job shadow a position and get a feel for what a day in the life of a technician in a certain company is like. And if you do that, right, and the employer likes you and you like the employer, you can turn that into an apprenticeship or a part-time job. And that's the goal. Some of you are ready, some of you aren't, but it's still, you're going to get the information. You're going to meet the names and the faces that run these shops or own these shops, so you can have a little bit of a connection to start. That's it, maybe. Job shadow season. Open house is October 26th here at CTC, but that's more of an incoming student thing. But it's another opportunity to visit the school. And then we'll do a career fair again. It's a typical style, traditional career fair in the spring, where your students will come with their resumes, and all the employers, more than these, will be in the same room. If it still fits in this room, it didn't barely fit in this room last year. And we had 30 plus employers, like 100 shops between all of them in here, just talking to the automotive students. So that's a typical career fair because it's springtime. Everybody's getting busy. They're ramping up for summer. That's when they're going to, that'll be your next opportunity really to meet with this many different employers or talk to this many different employers. So, that's it. Like I said, listen, ask questions. These guys are personable. They're easy to talk to. I got a lot of former students back there who are 2 or 3 years out of the seats that you guys are in. So that's about it. If anybody needs to move up, I'm live streaming it to YouTube. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm not very good at that kind of stuff, but we'll see what happens. And that's it. So in your pile here, there's a couple little handouts, but there is kind of like a list there, so you can kind of see who's presenting and when, and so you kind of can put names and faces together. All right, and other than that, I think we're good. Fitzgerald's going to start us off. Joe Moylan and Vanessa, class of 2022. Well, actually, I guess I'm going to start with Vanessa's big movie premiere. So one of the initiatives in the county, right, has always been, but we got some funding from the government. We're really going to put an emphasis on women in the trades: automotive, auto body, welding, carpentry, electrical, construction, electricity, because we want more women in our programs. We've got 4 this year, which is the most I've had since I've been here in a single year. We've had Vanessa and Ella in the past years, but we want to see that increase. And Vanessa, made a video to help us get that message across. So I'm going to play that real quick. And hopefully we can hear that.
We look on a national basis. Only 11% of the building industry is made up of women. Our goal, ultimately, through this program is to encourage women to change that 11%.
It's an amazing program. I truly love it, and the teachers are amazing. I've had the privilege to build something for the community. Since I've been in this program, we built 2 houses. We just sold our first house. There's already a family living in the house.
I think girls are more than capable of doing work like this.
There's really nothing that can stop us.
It always encourages me to do something that any other man can do, especially something that I love and enjoy.
For women who have an interest to go into a skilled trade, it's a career, it's not a job, and it can be for somebody to be a single income earner in their household to support their family.
This program opens up a lot of new opportunities.
It's not just taking the hammer and the nail or putting in the piping, it's the engineering. It is going to be the project management, somebody who works with everybody else on the team. So there's all kinds of roles and responsibilities. Give them an entry point to put their toe in the water, and you'll see magic happen.
My plan after graduating high school is to open my own shop and have female mechanics also working there and not have it so male dominated.
If there's a student that is interested in pursuing a trades education, there are opportunities for you to learn a trade, to get certification, to be matched up with employers who are ready to take you on full-time, and that will happen through Red Oak Trades.
So you'll see a little snippet of that if you go check out a movie at Warehouse Cinemas. It's going to run for a month or so. What else? I guess you and Joe will talk about what you're doing and your opportunity. I'm not going to take that time.
Yeah, a little bit. My name's Joe Moyle. That's how it goes in here. We're with Fitzgerald. On your seats, there's a handout, because I have to block my way to see if they gracious enough to get first. But basically, what we do is we have a program, that works with students that are where you are right now. Vanessa came in. Vanessa, you admittedly, right, you knew how much about cars when you started the program here at the CTC.
Absolutely nothing.
Right. So then she'll say that. So she'll go in and say she didn't know anything about cars. They do a great job at the school of teaching them and preparing them. Vanessa came to work with us in her junior year. Now, we're not open late at night, so a lot of times really she works Saturdays and then maybe when you're off of school. Your senior year, a lot of times you can get out earlier and you can work more. What we do with our program when you go in, a couple things that are a little bit different. There's a QR code on here. If you pull it up, if you shoot that, it's going to take a link to the full 60-page program we have. You don't need to do it now. And I've only got 10 minutes. If you know me, you know that's like an impossibility, right, to get it done in 10 minutes. But basically what it is, when it comes out now, the way a lot of people transition into the industry is a lot of luck involved. So a lot of times, other technicians might look at you as a competitor. It's not like a very nurturing environment. So we run a team system. Okay? On that team system, it benefits everybody in the team to help you out. Well, what we did, and Vanessa's in her first year now at Montgomery College. So you graduate from here. We'd like to get you in your junior or senior year, okay? And you learn our culture, you learn the way that we do business. Then when you graduate, that following semester, we'll enroll you in Montgomery College. You go to school 1 day a week for 8 hours. And there you're going to learn your theory. So the first module, you start brakes and suspension, right? Yeah, the first module is brakes and suspension. So like when any of us are putting something together, let's say it's a chair or anything, the guy at Ace Hardware that builds the grills, the first Weber grill he puts together probably takes him an hour or more to do. The fifth one, he's getting a little faster. By the time he's put that 20th grill together, he can do them in his sleep. And that's kind of like what we do here. So Vanessa will go in, she'll learn brakes and suspension. When we get that type of work in the shop, we'll pull her over to do it under the tutelage of the master. So initially, that technician might be helping her a lot and asking a lot of questions, right? But then what happens is you start to get a little better at it.
I get faster, go under the time of the.
Yeah, so that's actually, you touched on another good point with that, Vanessa. A lot of times what happens after a while, they'll ask less and less questions, and then after a while, the master tech will know, yeah, she's good, she's got it. And then she goes to the next module. So this 60-page thing here will show out every single module so you kind of see how your career is going to progress. One of the things though, she just touched on something, if you guys are students, you heard the term flat rate? Okay, anybody tell me what it is?
If you're doing, so you're removing and replacing an alternator, if it pays $130 an hour, you do that in 30 minutes, you're gonna get paid almost double what the time, what like the hourly rate was.
Well, that's kind of it. So what happens, so let's say that job, that alternator, if the book says it pays 1 hour for the technician, right? And that's what the technician gets paid. Whether it takes them 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours. So the problem is when you're young, you're in your career, you're putting that first Weber grill together. You're not at the point where you've done even 5 of them, much less 20. So those labor time guides are built up that really kind of are meant for an experienced technician. So a lot of times in the past, what would happen, a young technician like yourself will go in, if a shop puts you on flat rate too early, right, then you can't make money. You're just not fast enough. You haven't had enough repetition. So unless you have a family that's subsidizing your income until you learn to that, you're going to get in another line of work. So what Vanessa mentioned, what we do is as you progress, we track your timing. So in here, we'll start you off on a salary. You actually control your raises, and it's all listed in here. Part of it's your grades you get in school. So we send you to college. If she gets an A, which I don't doubt she'll do, right? Then the first semester, that's an automatic 75 cent bump. A B is 50, a C is 25. If you get less than a C, you probably should consider something else for a living. But you do that, you take your ASE test. You guys all know what the ASEs are? Okay, so you're taking a student version here. And you're doing here, it's a student version, so it's in theory. The professional version is more you have to have done the job. It's going to ask you things that you would have a hard time answering that question had you not actually done it. So when you take your ASEs, you earn money. So what we do is we track your productivity. And then as you advance and you do enough repetition in each of these segments, and when you come out of this, it's 2 years of Montgomery College. So when you come out of that, you should be a pretty well-rounded technician and should be more than able to go on the flat rate, and it actually benefits you. So it's a good way to bring it along. Now, Vanessa, this is your first semester.
Yeah.
So she's just starting, but 2 years from now, she'll be a killer. And while we don't want to take, and I would hate to see Vanessa go, but if Vanessa gets to the point that she can open her own shop, we're going to be all in behind her and get her to do that. So the only thing we ask for, and this comes in, how this program works with us, is we pay for everything. We pay for all the stuff up front. The only thing we ask is that you make a 4-year commitment. You stay with us for 4 years after that. You do that, scot-free. So it's a nice way to transition, into being a full-fledged automotive technician where you can make money. It didn't used to be. Some of your parents in here, maybe if there's any grandparents in here, back when I was younger, if somebody wasn't college material, they would say, you hadn't put you in a trade school because they're good with their hands. Well, the fact that you're here, all of us, all these guys in the back room, all of you that are here considering this line of work, Vanessa, we all like working with our hands. We learn better by doing than we do reading in a book. That's just the way we're wired. There's different people with different jobs because of their nature. That's our nature. So, this program does a nice job of helping you transition to become a tech. It's not like it used to be years ago. Cars are much, much more complex. There is no greater collection of electronic control units that have to operate under severe conditions than there is in the average home. So, it takes a lot of intelligence, it takes a lot of training. And just to kind of finish up, Vanessa, I'll let you throw your 2 cents in there, you kind of see, but the other thing is with the manufacturing piece, we'll put you in manufacturing training. That's the best training you'll ever get. So you start off, you do a lot of online training. Let's say you come to us as a junior or a senior, you can start your online training with the original equipment manufacturer. Then, once you get these prerequisites out of the way, you're eligible to go to the in-person training. This will be at their facilities. They're some of the finest facilities you'll ever go to. They're immaculate. It's the latest stuff. It's state-of-the-art. It's the manufacturers that build the car. And that never stops your whole career because the cars are they're changing so much. You guys now, okay, the EVs are out there. We were talking about it back here before. I don't know that everything's going to be electronic vehicles. Okay, there'll probably be hybrids. There's different other types of fuel they're talking about. Different other, hydrogen and all kinds of stuff. But you're in a kind of a nice era because it's kind of like going out into space. A new frontier is out there. So there's a lot of exciting things happening. But one of the things that we do is we send you to that training. So you're gonna get the latest. So I'll let Vanessa what's kind of some of your take on how you came to the CTC, how they developed you, how your career is going, and what do you want to do ultimately?
I mean, if you do decide to go to Montgomery College, it's pretty much similar to what you're doing right now in CTC, at least in the classroom. So they're basically just most of the time in the classroom. You don't really get to be in the shop that much. But you go there once a week, you get all that knowledge, and then you just put that to work at your job. Right? But yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice. It's easy work, and yeah.
You like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a little shy. She doesn't like to talk in front of crowds. But Vanessa does a great job. And I'm glad to see some females in here because we actually have quite a few females. One of the ones we have Shauna down at our Volkswagen store. She's been a tech for 10 years. And when I first met her, I knew everything I needed to know because the first 5 minutes I was in that shop, I could tell that she had the complete respect of all of the peers. And Vanessa's earned that already. So. All right, but thank you very much. And like I say, if there's any questions here, there's an email address on the back. You can shoot me an email, pull up the things. Vanessa's going to be here so she can answer any questions for you. Thank you.
Remember that face, because if you listen to her video, you're going to see that face again in our industry somewhere. Whether it's with Fitzgerald or some other company or her own company, she will be back. All right, next up, dynamic, automotive. So go ahead, Paul and Tom, introduce yourselves.
Video first.
You want to play the video? Okay.
Sure.
Let's see what play.
The appeal at Dynamic was that it was a corporate structure, but a family-based feel when you worked here.
Being a team member at Dynamic is great. Just having all the other people at all the other stores that really watch your back or be able to get help from them.
What really appealed to me the most about working for the Dynamic team was the fact they're very family-oriented.
Very quickly I became part of the family. I just fit right in there. Everybody there's friends.
I think that Dynamic Automotive invests in their team with education.
I was the pioneer, if you will, for our apprenticeship program. I spent almost 3 years at the Community College of Baltimore County going to school there. It's limitless. How much do you want to apply yourself? And they'll be right there with you.
Knowing I would have a company that invests in me, it does make me feel really well to know that they care about their employees.
Working somewhere that they invest in is great. I couldn't think about working anywhere else.
I think the most important thing that I like to convey to my customers is that no matter what, you're my number one priority. If you have an issue, anything's going on, all you have to do is pick up the phone. We are very customer centric.
When they say customers become friends, it is a statement that they truly stand by. We want them to know that they can come to us and we will be honest, fair, and true with them.
I like to take care of the customers. It's our community that we rely on. We appreciate them, and we couldn't do it without them. They are our support base. They are our lifeblood, and we do anything and everything we can to take our care of them the best that we can.
You guys got employees that you should have up there like Vanessa was back there hiding by the coffee machine. Come on up there, gentlemen. Not getting off that easily.
All right, perfect. So Paul and I are both with Dynamic Automotive. Both of these young guys are too. And first, we want to thank all the students that are here tonight, parents for taking time out of your schedules to be here. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. So we've been in Frederick County since 1995, so we've got a lot of depth here. Paul and I have both been with the company since 2007, which is probably about as long as some of you all have been born. Why is that?
Well, I'll tell you, it really comes down to we care. We care about our team. Sure enough, we care about our customers, but one thing in talking to anyone on the team, you'll find out just how much we invest and we give back. I started with the company as a technician 16 years ago. Now I'm an area leader. Grew up through the ranks, just like Todd. Todd's a location lead that opens up new stores for us. I mean, we've grown to 6 locations, a little 2-day shop, about 9. So, I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, that's why I came to Dynamic. It's the one place I know. You come in on the ground floor, you end up in the penthouse if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the young men in the video, Scott Wilco, he started with us 15 years ago, coming through the Career Technology Center, started off as an apprentice helper, and has made us all the way up to the top of where he's at now, which is a location leader. He took over the Liberty Town location when I opened the new store. So we can honestly develop from the bottom level all the way to the top and beyond. The sky's the limit. Nate, who came in as pretty low on the food chain and has made his way all the way up. He's a flat rate technician and also our pioneer to the registered apprenticeship program. So he spent 3 years in the program.
Yep, 3 years in the program at CCBC. He has all of his ASEs. He's a Maryland State Inspector. It's awesome. It's awesome to see what you can do with what Dynamic offers. Nate, yes, he is the pioneer. It's truly, I tell you, to see him grow from doing oil changes when he first started with us. I think he was a lifeguard before he came here. So yes, it's great having the leg up coming through CTC and having that education that you get here, but also taking it and running with it, just seeing how high you can go.
Yeah, for me, I mean, that's one of the greatest rewards of working with some of these young people is seeing them start off and developing them into, lead technicians, and location leaders. So definitely a lot of room for growth. And that's what we promote all the time.
Yeah, so the 3-year registered apprenticeship program after you get done graduating high school. I mean, it's, whether it's CCBC or Montgomery College, we do both. And we pay for the whole deal. So, once you're all said and done, generally, not always, but most of the time, we're fully certified, making a pretty daggone good living. And again, it's not always about just staying and being a technician. I mean, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, that's the best part about where we're at. So hopefully we can chat with some of you guys later on and give you some more information if you had any questions.
So I'll just add something real quick. Vanessa does a program with Fitzgerald at Montgomery College. Nate went through the College of Baltimore County, the CCBC automotive program. So we have 2 community colleges fairly close by. Same idea with an apprenticeship program after high school, just different pathway options. So like I said, Scott was kind of doing that on his own before it was even an option. But there's students from every CTC class sprinkled through Dynamic somewhere. Fernando was CTC 2023. He's a senior on work study this year. David's CTC class of 2024. He's a senior this year on level 2 and work study, right?
Yeah.
So Dakota was 2019 or 2020? 2021 maybe? I don't know. It's been years now already. So all the way through the whole system. So Scott's probably the the one that's made it the highest, fastest, right? Probably.
Garrett too.
Garrett, yeah, Garrett. Garrett was right around the same time period, maybe a couple years later.
Be a little patiently before you know it too.
So, you guys want to add anything? Fernando and David, you guys both started what, June?
Yeah.
June 2023. So, in Urbana, right? Quick Loop. So,
Learn a lot of the basics. You know, I mean, want to build a foundation. So you're not trying to drink from the fire, so to speak. Kind of, that doesn't work very well. You know, what builds you up.
any questions for any of these guys? Nope. Anybody?
If you think of anything, be in the back.
All right. Next up, Dark Cars Automotive Group, and I got to switch my. I'll try to share the layout. So, just.
Hello, everyone. My name is Farzad Makrechi. I am the corporate foreman for Dark Cars Automotive Group. I've been with the company, I'm not going to say how many years, but a long time. Something in the neighborhood in the 90s, let's just say I started sometime in the 90s. I wear many hats for Dark Cars. This is one of them. I'm actually here with my favorite tire. Today I was working for one of our technicians in the shop. So I'm happy to be here and talk to you guys. When Dynamic goes and Fitz goes first, it's always nice because these are awesome business leaders and they do a lot of my tough work for me. So I'm just gonna touch real quick about some of that stuff. I begged my marketing team to put some slides together and send it to me. I should have paid more attention. There's a lot of sales stuff in there, so please bear with me. If there's anything you see go quick, just because I don't want to talk about it. So just hang with me. My shop foreman, Christian Sotomayor, he's stuck in traffic. He's going to be here in a few minutes. I'm running here, knocking the door. When he does, he's probably going to miss it. It's all fun. But I am going to ask for a volunteer, early student. Okay? Can I volunteer? You're going to read lines for me. Is that okay? All right. Let's go through these slides. They did a nice job to kind of put some of our locations. It looks like we're a very big company, but we're still a family-owned business. Right now, we're sitting at about a little over, I want to say, last I counted, there's around 3,000 team members. We have 6 states, 13 brands, 16 cities, 43 franchises. As you notice, this is predominantly Northeast. We have one store in Florida. The story goes that Mr. Darvish, the owner, he went to Florida, wanted to open top Jeep, saw the dealership, and decided to buy it. I'm like, no, I just made that up. Sorry, I don't know what happened. But we've owned that actually for a long time. There's a video here. Obviously, they gave me all the nice stuff. This is our Volvo store we just remodeled just a few months ago. It's located in Montgomery County, Rockville. Just a 10-second tell that was sales because there's no shop pictures in there.
Let me see the shop because I remember the Volvo shop.
Yes.
I want to see the shop.
It is actually. Service and parts, these are all the brands pretty much we carry. I had the pleasure of getting master status in about most of what you see up here in the last 30 years. Usually that's what Christian does. You know, Christian.
Dark Cars Automotive Group, founded in 1977 by John Darvish, is a family-owned group representing 43 franchises in Maryland, Virginia, Florida, New Jersey, Connecticut, and New York. Dark Cars has grown to be one of the most recognized family-owned and operated businesses and consistently acknowledged on the Forbes 500 list of largest private companies in America.
Thank you. Very well done. That's impressive. Again, it comes across that we're a very big company. We're very family-oriented. In every one of the stores you go to, you're going to feel like you're part of the family. But we are growing. Our commitment that we got from the owner, Mr. John Darvish, says, hey, I'm going to double in size. He said that 5 years ago. Since then, we bought 9 dealers, mostly in Northeast. You know, you're gonna get this just about any business leader that's down here. A lot of what I want to talk about is the culture of the company. But just that everybody who came right before me, the opportunity is there. I'll touch base on this real quick. There was a big talk about 2 years ago, EV is gonna be the way of the future. EV is gonna be the way of the future. Everything that I know technically tells me we don't have the resources to have EVs as a way of the future. There's not enough materials to make lithium-ion batteries. There's not enough infrastructure to charge these cars. And when you start thinking about cities and stuff, where do people charge? There's already people fighting over charging stations. EV is going to be the answer in the future, but not now. I'll tell you a little bit insight to what's coming in the future. Toyota and Lexus are working on a battery, solid state battery, that goes up to 750 miles within 15 minutes of charge. That's already out there and they're trying to put it in their cars. I think we're gonna start seeing it in 26 or 27. And you charge it with a household charger. So that, yes, I see that. But what's happening right now, even you guys are coming into prime time. You're learning about EV, you're growing. And I tell you what, by the time we switch to full EV, you're well versed into EV technology. Some of the things we do, I like.
At Dartford, we are uncommon people working together to perform common tasks in an extraordinary manner to ensure the complete satisfaction of ourselves, our customers, and our employees. We fully recognize that happy and empowered employees are our most effective ambassadors. Dartford is committed to becoming the best place to work in every one of the markets we serve.
Guys, that's our task. And he works all the way from the owner to all the way to the entry-level employees. That's our mission. That's our task. It's a family-owned business, and we want to make it feel like you're part of the family. So that is our vision statement. We all strongly agree with that. Some picture of our facility. I think there's a video here. There's a glimpse of a shop in this. They could extend a couple minutes. Some testimonial. Some of them I'd like to recognize. Just about everybody you see over the gentleman, with the exception of the gentleman over there, are started as a rookie technician. Some went to Lincoln Tech. I want to talk about school for profits. Some just right out of high school, but they're pretty much in their master's status. Only I want to say they achieved it in 5 to 6 years, which is very well done. Generally, it takes about 8 to 9 years to master a product. These gentlemen were able to do that. The gentleman on the left, he's actually still being mentored by a master technician, Chief Down Price Leadership, and he's doing capacity on set. Here we have our 3 mentors and 2 mentees. They're actually doing really good in our Volvo story. Volvo is doing some amazing stuff. And Polestar is a branch of it. I don't know if you guys are exposed with Polestar. We have a Polestar store, and it's the only store within a 170-mile radius, and it's full electric vehicle. So I learned a lot about that brand. It's pretty cool. Some of our techs, multiple different locations. I like what it says in there. I like the way it's on that. So this picture is, I'm glad they put that in there. It's very special to me. This was about a year and a half ago at Thomas Edison in Montgomery County. We went and talked to the juniors at the school who were in the automotive program and said, you know what? It's easy to say, I want to do something. You're going to have to go do it, and you're going to love it, and you're going to have to enjoy it. And if you love it and you enjoy it, you're going to be awesome. Go try. Take a leap. You know, when we go talking to juniors in software, they're super nervous about trying something new. They go, I don't know any better. I go to class, but I don't know what I'm doing, and that's okay. Any job you decide to do, go and shadow for a couple of days. Meet the people. See if that's something you want to do. Then go in there and do it for a summer, part-time. That's at the end of that summer, you're going to know if this is the occupation for. These young men took their leap and they tried it. And roughly about a year later, most of them were sitting there with technician Toyota and Lexus technician from Nose at Toyota, but they were already certified a year and a half going part-time. They did outstanding. It goes a long way to say, try it. You're going to have awesome business leaders talking about opportunities. Go and try it. Go and shadow. You have nothing to lose, and you have everything to gain. I felt that was why they put that in there. That's a spray booth. There's gonna be some pictures of body shop and stuff. I'm not the guy. I dodged that real quick. I just saw those. I don't know why they put that in there. That's a spray. Body shop, let's get that real quick. Team members from multiple different stores. This is super cool and we're very proud of it. We're partnered with Degrees at Work. So you talk about 4-year education right now. What is a 4-year education? What does it cost in Maryland? My kid's been there. I do have an idea, but that was before COVID.
Oh my gosh, you're asking the wrong guy. 200,000?
Yeah.
120 to about 200. So we have a lot of different avenues. We have CCBC. If you go to CCBC and you pick a manufacturer that we cover under Darkar's umbrella, when you graduate, we put $10,000 towards your tuition. If you go to CCBC, let's say you do a Ford asset program. I think the entire program is 13,000. 10,000 is covered. You're coming out via associated. If you land in our stores, we cover the rest of it. We have Degrees at Work. So when we partner with Degrees at Work, you and your family member can take up to 2 courses per semester, books and tuition covered. My son is actually going through this program. He graduated from Maryland. He's going through this program to get his master's. There's a list of what they offer. Very, very cool program. We've been involved in that program the last, I want to say, going to about 8 years, 9 years. I ran out of time. But Christian's still not here, right? He's going to make it. What to expect? Community-based stuff. Some cool stuff, guys. We're involved in a lot of stuff in the community. I think this is one of our partnerships that we have with multiple different. I think one of my favorite was Habitat for Humanity. They give you a hammer to go in there, take everything out of the house. It was a lot of fun. What to expect? They touch base on ASCs, student ASCs, and actually regular ASCs. They talked about faculty training, all that stuff's covered. I'm going to talk real quick about the school for profits. Anybody here from Lincoln Tech? UTI? Excellent. Okay. You went to
UTI, 2002.
Okay.
That just changes the whole speech.
It did. I have to watch what I say.
Hey.
You can go and work at an automotive dealership or any business leaders that we have with us tonight. Go through training. In most cases, you're going to get your school, your education, and college is covered. Out of pocket is almost going to be next to nothing. By the time you're in your 20s, early 20s, mid 20s, you have an awesome career and make great money, great income, something you really enjoy. Or you can go to school for profits. Last I checked, UTI is roughly around $50,000. Lincoln Tech is around $40,000. And when you come out of those schools, the certificate that you have in your hand gets you the same job that you're going to get by going to school. So I question the value. Perfect time. With that, so Chris Sutmeyer is actually one of our shop foremen at Silver Spring Toyota and Lexus. And he's a road warrior. He sits in 270 every day. Lives in Frederick, travels to Silver Springs. With that said, the opportunities are great. I wish I knew what we're talking about right now when I was in high school. I went to Walter Johnson High School in Bethesda. There was no mention of skills trade that even knew existed. I went through my second year of college. I got a part-time job working at a gas station. It wasn't until my associate degree coming out going, I really like working on cars. I like working with my hands. I really enjoy this. If I known what we're telling you guys tonight, I could have shaved off 4 years to get my career started 4 years ago. That's the message I want to come. Any questions for us? I don't have any more cash to give. Good. That's all we have. Christian, you want to add? Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Your name is on the thing.
No, it's on the I apologize for coming a little late. I'm coming all the way from Silver Spring. My parents wanted me to be a mechanical engineer, so I did 4 semesters of mechanical engineering, and for me, it wasn't for me. Calculus, physics, technical drawing. I wanted to take stuff apart. So I decided to go on the route of becoming a technician. And man, it's been one of the best decisions I ever made in my career. I've been with Darkers for 24 years. I found a place where they helped us grow, and I got to the point that I became a master tech team leader, and I'm a shop owner with Lexus, and all also Toyota Silver Spring. I have about 80 technicians under me, and we're helping to grow. And well, people are saying that this business is not going to have a future, but I can tell you right now, I sold a lot. We have a lot that holds about 2,000 cars. We have about 700 cars coming in, more are coming in. And those guys will need somebody to fix them 10 years, 15 years from now. So if you chose this career, you're in the right path.
So we ran out of time like 15 minutes ago. We're gonna be in the back. We have some postcards for you with some QR codes and additional information. Thank you so much for allowing us to come chat with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Dark Cars. Next up, Shockley Honda. Chris. Yeah, just
All right, evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming. My name is Chris Trennan. I'm the service manager at Shockley Honda. This is Ryan Baldwin. He is one of our work study students from CTC, as well as Nick Fusey. He's also a work study student from CTC. And I chuckled because it seems like it was just yesterday, but I was sitting in y'all seats last year because my son is also in the CTC program. He worked for me this summer. He just had some math homework to do, so that's why he's at home. Shockley Honda is a family-owned dealership. We've been in the Frederick area for 50 years. We're actually celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. I've been with the dealership for 15 years. We got a lot of people that have been there, 30 plus years. So people come and they stay. We really have done very well with talent from the CTC program, and we believe in growing our talent from within. So far as a place to work, being family owned, it's work, but it's also fun. We do, golf tournaments, Halloween costume contests, chili cook-offs, ugly sweater contests. So we work hard and we play hard. We try to make it, as enjoyable as you can make it work. If you can go to the next slide. Next. So our training program, we've started this several years ago, and we want to build our talent, like I said, from within. So when we get folks from the CTC, our goal and our job is to put them in a position to be as successful as possible. So when you come in, you start in the express base. We have 2 express bays down in the corner, and that kind of gets you acclimated to the dealership life, working for a manufacturer, learning our processes, learning the computer system, and just getting your feet wet, doing basic oil changes, filters, batteries, tire plugs, just getting used to the pace of the dealership. On a good day, we'll see anywhere between 100 and 130 cars. The average day in slower times is 60, but the express department is kind of the lifeblood of the shop because they handle that light duty work and allows our other mechanics to work on the heavier stuff, and it gets those guys used to that pace. Once they've been there and kind of gotten their feet wet, we then put them in training with a master technician on a daily to start. They'll start on heavier things, and we've created this checklist. This is actually the front and the back of things that we get them started to work on. Once they've done that for a while and shown a proficiency with those things, we'll actually move them for a week-long training period with a dedicated technician. His name's Adam. He couldn't be here tonight. He's been with Honda for almost 20 years, and we literally have him as our trainer. He is there to train students, to train the new hires, and to get them up and running. So as we progress, through this checklist, and I dispatch the work, hand out the tickets. We will actually hand out work based on what somebody has left on this checklist so that they can move through. As they become more proficient and more comfortable, then they reach a point where they will then be put on their own lift. Now that lift is right next to Adam's, so we're not kicking you out of the nest and just throwing you across the shop. And so you will do that for several months, basically operating as an independent tech, but still on salary. And you have the resources right next to you if you have questions or have any issues to help you, move through and progress. And on the other side of that training bay, we have another master technician who's also available for help, that was tied up or something. And then once we feel like you're proficient, and can move on your own, we'll move you to your own lift. Still on salary, but we watch and monitor your hours to see how you're doing, because the last thing we want to do is to set somebody up for failure. The process, usually what we've seen is about 1.5 to 2 years from start to finish. I know Ryan and Nick have shown a lot of initiative, and they're kind of moving through the program a little bit quicker than some others. So they may be less time in that training mode and moving quicker to just going straight out to flat rate. But we do and try to adjust to the person, because no two people are the same. Everybody learns at a different rate, different pace, and we like to accommodate that. So these guys right here, these have all gone through our training program. They're all, Josh on the left, he started as a product specialist. Jake and Jared were lot attendants. They moved into the Express program. Austin and Carlos came right in to the Express, but they're all flat rate, turning 50, 60 plus hours a week and doing great. Austin and Carlos are actually in the process now of becoming Honda Master Certified Technicians. We believe in continuing education. We believe in investing in our employees. We have 5 Master Techs now, and anybody that's willing to learn and wants to learn, we don't have a problem paying for that training. We send you up to New Jersey, pay for all your travel and all the training and everything like that. And when it's all said and done, getting somebody through to a Master Tech standing with just the training runs probably around 18 to 19,000 of an investment that we want to put into our employees. So this is our current group right here. Marco is our newest employee, and of course we got Ryan and Nick and Jerry and Ray. Liam was off that day, but they're in the process of doing their training and working with the technicians. And the nice thing with being not a small shop, but a smaller shop and a one-off shop, is if these guys don't have anything to do, they can just go to a technician. If they're not on their training day, they can just go to the technician and say, hey, you mind if I watch what you do? You guys do that quite a bit. I know you were watching, they were putting an engine in a Accord, and Express was slow, so they got a chance to get hands-on, swapping out an engine. The shop, the guys, we're kind of like a big family, and there's, nobody's against helping the new guys. They don't look at it as competition. They don't look at it as, this guy's going to take money out of my mouth. They just want to help the young guys come up, and they help them learn little tricks and things, and hopefully it helps them, learn the job and learn things quicker than what they had to go through. That's one thing I've really liked about being there is, a guy with 30 years of experience helping a guy that's been there for 2 weeks. Like, hey man, this is an easier way to do this, and it'll save you some time. So that you guys can agree, everybody's been pretty friendly with you. Let's see here. Sorry, this is the first time I've done this, so.
It's already done great. Don't ask Ryan and Nick to take over for you, because you're not gonna fill out.
No, I told them I want to make them talk. So as far as the shop, when you come in, I've got one more slide forward. So if you see our shop, all those boxes, the shop was brand new in 2009, built from the ground up, new parts department and everything like that. So we've got 30 bays, all state-of-the-art equipment. Those boxes you see are all Snap-on boxes. Those are your boxes. You don't have to bring your own box. We have a tool purchasing program, because that's a big investment. If y'all don't already know, there's a lot of dollars that go into those tools. So we not only help with the initial purchase of tools, but we also help set aside money. So when you figure out what you need, there's money sitting there that you can use with a backhoe truck or something like that. But when you initially start, all the tools that you need are there for you. So you can come in, just your hands, and we'll have everything that you need at your disposal. Air conditioning. Oh yeah, that's right, air conditioning. So apparently that's a big thing. I've never worked any other shop with this one, but a buddy of mine just got back from Texas, and he said they didn't have air conditioning. I was like, man, I can't imagine not having an air conditioned shop. But we're always, like I said, we're always trying to stay on the cutting edge with training, with equipment, making sure that our techs are set up for success and have all the tools that they need. And, we've been very fortunate to get two great employees with these guys. And I have no other thoughts that they're going to be, full-time line techs, once they graduate from the program. I was joking with Ryan, he's going back to class, so he's going to work full-time over the summer. And And I said, hey man, why don't you just quit school and come to work? And he looked at me, he's like, I'm just kidding, just kidding. So, and we're flexible. That's the other nice thing too. It's like Nick, his work study, he has classes Mondays and Wednesdays, so we make the schedule work around him. When things come up, they're busy and have things to do, we have that ability to kind of stretch and mold and work with them, you know, on their schedules and things like that. So that's my presentation. Did anybody have any questions on anything?
One thing I will point out, I know Chris was talking about how much of a go-getter these two guys are. Ryan is a senior, so he's just turned senior in the program. He's in his third year. So he's taking that optional third year auto tech class where we kind of make our own curriculum that he can kind of, you know, keep working on Honda training or go, you know, take some certification or classes if he needs to. We've done that. We did that with Julian, who you'll hear from in a little while. It was really successful. It's an option for one or two students that really apply themselves first year, second year. So Ryan actually just, as part of his third year curriculum, you want to tell him what you do, or you want me to tell him?
I took my professional ASE, K1 and G1 tests. And I ended up passing both of those.
All right, so Ryan, we talked about entry-level ASEs that you get while you're a level 1 or 2 student. Well, Ryan finished level 2 last year as a junior. You know, he's been working at Honda for a year, right? Or a little over a year, since last June. Well, he decided he wanted to take take his engine repair and his maintenance and light repair professional ASEs, since he has the work experience he needs now from being in the program and working at Honda. He went to Hagerstown, sat for those tests, and passed them. So he hasn't even graduated high school yet. He already has his entry level and his professional ASEs. So he's got the first two, one, 7 more, and he's master. So you know, he potentially could be master ASE by the time he graduates if he stays motivated and keeps going.
What's surprising?
And I believe Chris is going to take care of that for him. Take care of the test work.
Yeah.
Right. So just a perk. So most shops do that. I know they don't mention it. They don't even think about it. But that's a big deal when you're a student and your checks are still small. So any questions for these guys? No? I'll get all the questions tomorrow. So I'll get 45 questions tomorrow, and I'll be like, so thanks, guys.
Thank you all very much.
All right. Next up, Frederick Motor Company.
All right, how are we doing tonight? I'll go ahead and start this off. This is actually my second rodeo today. I was up in PA doing a presentation up there. I'm Eric Falk. I'm a technical placement specialist with Ford Motor Company. So I'm a Ford corporate employee, which if you hear my background, you'd be surprised I got here. So, who knows what Ford stands for? Anybody? Come on, somebody's got to have one. What do you got? Oh, flipped over rebuilt Dodge. That's a new one. Anybody else got one? What do you got? There we go. There's my Ford fan. First on race day.
There's only one other guy that's found on Rockville Dump Dead.
Okay, there's another one I haven't heard of. I heard of found on Russian dump today too. So there's a couple new ones. So a little bit about my history, just to help give you guys a little bit of backstory and kind of how I got to where I did. Because at one point I was where you guys were. Okay, I took 3 years of auto tech in high school. I loved it, right? I knew I wanted to be a technician. My parents and the school I was at said, no, you should go to college. So there's a little bit of disagreement there as to what Eric's path is going to be. I went to college, wasted some of my parents' money, and still wanted to work on cars. I worked at a Mustang speed shop part-time while I was in school. Part-time became full-time. I loved it. I love going fast. That can be a problem with your guys' driving records. We'll talk about that a little later, okay? So Eric got into some trouble with his driving record, which also got me into trouble with my job, okay? So that is, find an outlet somewhere else. We can talk about that at the back. But I knew I wanted to work on cars, so I worked in the industry, in the performance industry for almost 10 years. I worked at a Mustang speed shop for 5 years. Then I worked at a standalone engine management company for another 5 years and did tech support for them. Then I decided, one of my former auto tech teachers called me and said, hey, would you want to be a teacher? And I said, that sounds pretty cool. So I know his pain and misery. I was a teacher for 9 years, and now I've been with Ford Motor Company for 2 years. So now I am a corporate employee, right? So you can see how I kind of was a little lost, right? But I love cars. I knew I wanted to stay in cars. So the cool thing now with you guys getting into the industry when you are, is you are super valuable as a technician, which they always sort of have been, but now it leads to a lot of other opportunities. We have mostly freshmen in here, I believe, right?
Probably mostly sophomores.
Okay. So opportunities is a big thing, and education helps open up more doors to more opportunities. So while you are in here, you should take advantage. You've heard them mention about different training certificates, right? That's huge. One that we offer, that I know he offers, is our ACE training, right? So that's our Ford factory training. The cool thing about something like that is if you complete it, it's going to be something additional on your resume, right? It's going to be something that will probably get you paid more as well. It will make your life easier. If that is your job, right? The more you're educated in your job, the easier it'll be, and typically the more money you make, right? The further you can go. So education's key. I would say just kind of find what's your avenue of education, right? You're going to hear about high school rate to being a technician. You're going to hear about high school to college, high school to a 2-year associate's degree program, right? So you have all these different avenues. Try and work towards figuring out what's going to be the best one for you. And the great thing is, in the automotive field, if you do get Ford training, now there's a lot of ways to transfer it over to Toyota training. Like Ford will even accept other manufacturers' trainings for some of our entry-level certificates. Unfortunately, if you're a master tech, you're probably not going to transfer, and that's kind of across the brand. So there are also some great independent shops, right? So look at what your opportunities are, and they are vast here. This is one of the best programs that I deal with, and I deal with 90 dealers in this region. So I've seen a few auto tech programs. You guys truly have one of the best. So I love coming here. I love talking to Tracy. There are a lot of opportunities at our Ford dealers. And one of the things that we do is we have a technician reward program. So we really try and value our employees, our technicians. Some of the other manufacturers might not be doing that. And then we've got one of our local dealers here. I believe he also represents one of the other Blue Ovals, though. So I'll let him talk a little bit about what they do at their dealerships here.
Hey, I'm Jim Warfield from Frederick Motor Company. Yes, as my Ford friend here mentioned, we also represent Subaru. We run a busy shop, local, been here 106 years in Frederick, family-owned place. I have my service manager, Chris Decker, here tonight. 2 of our techs, Scott and Julian, are graduates of the program. Just for the parents here, the automotive field, I think, represents a great opportunity right now for these technicians, young technicians. Ford's saying that there's going to be 80,000 new techs needed each year for the next 10 years. And that number's as high as it's ever been. So the demand's there, the pay will be there to follow up with the demand for the techs. We all need techs, and that's how it's going to go. As far as Frederick Motor Company goes, we're expanding. We're looking at building a new Subaru facility right now so we can handle the volume. As everybody in here knows, Frederick's growing by leaps and bounds, and we're trying to keep up with it so we can continue to serve our customers. But that's about it for me. With that, I'll let Chris kind of give you the rundown of what's happening in the shop.
Yeah, so I'm Chris Decker, service manager, and kind of started from where you guys are at, basically. Okay, I did pre-delivery inspections on vehicles and rust-proof cars when they needed rust-proofing back then, and moved into doing oil changes, brakes, tires, and just kind of worked my way up. Did all the training that I could do right off the bat. I was just trying to just sponge it all up as much as I could. Became ASC Master Certified early on, and then became Ford Senior Master Technician too, shop foreman, and then eventually moved into the service manager's position. We have several students that actually came from this program. It's been a great program. I've had graduates, I've got students right now that are still in training. I put them with a technician to mentor them every step of the way so they feel comfortable. With the experience that I have with our shop foreman that we have, we're able to give the support that the students need on a day-to-day basis. We're all about training. The STARS program that Ford has is mostly web until you get so far along and then you get classroom training. Excuse me. We're all about that part of the training also.
And two things about the training too is we're one of the fortunate dealer groups in Frederick that we have. Ford has their training center here in Frederick, and Subaru has their training center here in Frederick. So it's super easy, no travel required, and it's been really beneficial for us.
Scott is working on the Ford side. He's come a long ways. He's actually doing a lot of our automatic transmission repairs right now. We've been able to support him and help him along the way with that. But he's like a sponge himself. He's just kind of made that commitment to just grab hold of it and do it. It's all about commitment, okay? But that's with any profession. If you like it, you actually end up loving it. And then you become committed to it, and sometimes it even becomes your passion. It's my passion. Scott's learning that it's becoming his passion also. Julian is with the Subaru side. He's actually moved on and is doing the Catonsville college accreditation. So he's trying to even better himself further along to make himself more valuable also. But both of these guys came from this program and have been great additions to the program.
Actually, got a question for Scott. You're working on transmissions. Do you have lots of work at the store you're at?
A lot. It never stops, especially being the main guy who does all the transmissions. When I was in school, we didn't get any transmission training here, just because we didn't have time, basically. There's a lot to learn in the field, and 2 years just really isn't enough. You're always going to be learning, from what I realized. I like automatic transmission work, I really do. It's fun, it's new, you kind of see the same stuff all the time. It's really repetitive, but that's in a good way because you make lots of money off of it. I was really just throwing to the wolves on it. It was just a great opportunity and not upset about it at all.
So, Julian, the program that you're in, have anything good, bad, or different to say about that? What you came from?
The environment there is pretty good. Everybody's nice there. I was given a lot of opportunity to work on many types of repairs and diagnostics. They were able to manage my schedule with college, so that's another reason I chose it.
Advancing your training, it's very important to us that you have the tools that you need to be successful.
I'm going to jump in here and steal Chris's spotlight for a second because these two guys are some of the top students come out of the program in a while. You heard Scott say he rebuilds transmissions all day. How old are you, Scott? 19. He's 19. How many transmissions have you rebuilt this year?
I can't count.
He sent me a picture of at least 20, and I know that's just in between when he gets to wash his hands. So he's 19 years old and he handles 80% of Ford's warranty transmission work here in Frederick at 19. Right? So it takes a go-getter to want to do that. But like he said, he was thrown to it. Well, no, somebody left or retired or whatever, and Scott was next man up to jump into that seat and take on that challenge. That's a big deal. Not everybody has that. He didn't really get a chance to learn automatics because he was a senior, didn't really get into it. Julian was sophomore, junior, and did the third year like we met Brian, who was doing, Julian got to the automatic transmissions his third year, right? So Julian's automatic transmission count is one. So, but he got one under his belt, right? So sometimes that's the hardest one. So you won't really see a lot of that work in Subaru, but it's still a trade or a skill that he can use, in his free time. Or Scott gets really, really overwhelmed. Maybe Julian will start picking up some leftovers from scratch, right? So he's another student that in that third year, he talked about an opportunity. He did an apprenticeship at Second Chances that was sponsored by Gear Wrench. He got a tool set when he completed that, right? And then, but when they're done with you with that, when you get 450 hours in that apprenticeship, you graduate from that, you got to find another job. So Julian being a third year student, we were able to actually get Julian with Subaru and also into factory Subaru training before he graduated. So Julian had five Subaru factory training classes, 5 Subaru factory training technician classes done before he graduated. So that's another never seen, probably done anywhere in the country. He had that flexibility in his schedule because of the way he chose CTC his senior year at work study. So those are the kind of opportunities we have because the training center is in Frederick. Julian went to the training center when those classes were scheduled instead of coming to CTC his senior year in that third year. So that got to sit with other students and then also technicians in those training programs.
It's not do the same at Ford, right?
Well, Scott's been to electrical
and
MVH, noise, vibration, and harshness. So he's looking forward to get to transmission class and can teach the instructors what's actually going wrong with the things that they're doing, right? Because the instructors here, they get the book, but they don't always get the real world experience on what's coming in the pan, laying in the pan. So
Who knows what Ford's number 1 in right now?
Selling cars.
they are.
However, for
It's
technician,
also
that
the
means work.
best-selling brand in America.
Yes. You want to work somewhere that's busy. Right now, Ford's busy.
So any questions for any of you gentlemen? Good? All right, thank you. All right, Tim, come on up.
Thank you. Sorry I was late.
We got to see one presentation, so.
This is really cool. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, so I don't really have a like a slideshow or any spiel. My family business is located in Baltimore County in Towson. I'm a 4th generation car mechanic, and I guess I'll start by just sharing some of my story. I grew up in our family business from the earliest ages that I can remember. Jousting with my younger brother with the longer socket extensions and all that stuff, and started working on the vehicles. I think it was like the summer between 8th and 9th grade. My dad and mom agreed that I'm not going to sit home and play video games, and I got one of the weeks of the summer between 8th and 9th grade free, and then anyway, the rest was history. And he shared in the back. So I worked summers and Saturdays, and I really enjoyed it. I like this profession because there's a lot of instant gratification. So at the end of the day, not every day is a great day, but every day is a new. You can always reset the button. There's always the new car the next day, and for those that have a little bit of like ADHD hyperactivity, that can really be a benefit in this line of work. It provides some drive and likewise to what he shared in the back, they did not allow me to go right into business after high school. I had to go to college, and I decided to do engineering. I loved race cars. I wanted to work for a NASCAR team or something like that. And I decided to attend. I did aerospace engineering in Daytona Beach, Florida, at a school called Embry-Riddle. And while I was in college, a changing thing, our country went to war. And I, as an aerospace engineer, worked as a civilian defense contractor for the Air Force, and I did drones. So growing up, like many of you have the remote controls and all that, I used to love 10th scale. I used to like 10th scale RC car racing was like a hobby. I used to build those cars like nothing, break them, fix them. And anyway, that benefited for the unmanned aircraft that now, are much more commonplace. But anyway, I didn't enjoy sitting at a desk all day, so I rejoined my family business, and that was about 10 years ago.
That's how we got Julian too, by the way.
Yeah.
RC cars.
Yeah,
Lured him in.
So just to close on the highlights of education, I still love that passion for automotive. So to touch on automotive, one of my, I was glad I joined a GT racing team while I was doing engineering. So I got to travel the Rolex Grand Am like GT car circuit. We campaigned. It was a Dodge Viper chassis made by Pratt Miller. Also makes the factory Corvettes. If you ever see the factory Corvettes racing, so the chassis was built by the same company that did that. Because I was tall, those cars have fuel rigs, and when they come in for the pit stops, you probe the car, and it's the fuel vent and fuel, and it's also the airline, so the car jumps. You want to be tall and strong, so by default, I got to be the fuel guy. Nobody wanted to wear the fire suit in the hot races in the sun and all that, so it's kind of like the short stick. You don't actually want that job. You'd rather do the tires or something, but the fuel guy nonetheless is a critical part. And because of my aerodynamics background, I was responsible for the rear under tray of the car. So for those of you that watch those cars and the wings, most of the downforce is actually made in the under tray and what they call the rear diffuser in the back. So when the car would be done from a session, my job other than fuel was to dive under the bottom of the car, remove the rear side of the lower, what they call the diffuser, and that would free up the drivetrain for the rear end gear guys and all them to slide in and make any drive changes, and then button it back up. I also did brakes, which was pretty cool. Now that stuff's become more commonplace, but back then it was like for y'all learning, those brakes are like carbon ceramic and multi-piece and everything like that. So they're no joke. That's a job in itself. But anyway, I'm going to stay at the topic here so I can keep I did make some notes.
Cherry Street the video. You want me to play the video?
Well, I got you. So anybody joining this industry, like, you've got to be fully committed to learning and continued education is core. So if you don't like learning new things and challenging yourselves and all like that, this truly, be wary, because to be the best you can be in this line of work, you have to be. The cars change so rapidly. I mean, you even take our parents' generation, they went from distributors and all that to fuel injection, and now we have pulse width modulation. The modules now, everything's controlled by a computer module, and those computers can sit on both sides of the circuit, and that's why now you're seeing so many more PIDs. And so anyway, I personally I enjoy the future's awesome, but there was definitely a transition gap that happened where if you don't know what you're looking at, you don't have the training from a program like this. It's very difficult. Like Tracy and these programs do an incredible job, and you really cannot make it any more how complex it's got without a fundamental. So don't let your focus down when you're in these classrooms, and after you're done here, make sure as you're looking for a place to work and an employer and going down your career, make sure that you know that they're committed in you and that you're getting that continued education, because if you let the pedal off on the learning and the development of yourself, it'll catch up on you for sure. And never forget, please, that we're responsible for our own development. No employer is just going to magically do that for you. Okay, this industry, you have to be self-motivated. That's absolutely critical. Back to that, same with the learning. I mean, you're joining an industry that's production and performance oriented. All these other things, I mean, don't get me wrong, this industry is more professional now than it's ever been. But you're not going to be coddled in this profession. And you're responsible for your destiny. With that said, I think more so than any other line of work, you're in control of your opportunity. If you're here and you perform and you're hungry, and as the young one, you get in these shops, put your phone down, please. People are willing to teach there's a generation gap happening, and many of the older individuals that are on their retiring or nearing that age, they want to pass down those skills. They take pride in them. But if they don't feel that you're receptive to those, it can be difficult. So if you're in there hungry, you're focused, you got the phone down, you're paying attention, I promise there's people that are going to want to lift you up. There's space for all. Don't think that because of the programs and the curriculum and the training that you have to work on cars. It's definitely the place where you have the most opportunity and the most ability to earn income. But there's a place for everybody. The education you get in these rooms to be a parts professional, a warranty claims expert, things like that. The fundamental education that you're going to get in a program with Tracy and the community college and all that, that's critical. Yeah, and again, there's many different aspects. I see the, sorry I came late. I saw the list. There's a strong independent world in this line of work. There's the chain box stores and all that, and there's obviously the dealers. There's a place for everybody. I would just encourage you that don't. One of the things from our seat and Tracy's is the most heartbreaking thing is to invest in someone and or to see someone really come in with a lot of interest, and then we follow up on them years later and realize they're no longer in the industry. I take that not lightly, and I know he doesn't. And just understand that before you ever choose to leave or change, reach out to the network that you have. That there's a place. If you're in a place you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel they're supporting you or investing in you, there's other options. This is one of the most diverse, multifaceted industries and professions that there is. And there is a place you will find your niche if you have that drive and all that. Yeah. I'm happy to answer any questions. I don't know what I don't want to get.
I'll play the video because I think it's pretty cool.
My great-grandfather started Holland Shades Automotive with a simple philosophy: treat our customers honestly and fairly, and we'll always have a business. 84 years later, with 4 generations of family working in the shop, that's still true today. As a hard-working small business, our foundation is built on honesty, reliability, service, and community support. You can trust us to deliver the highest standards in vehicle maintenance and repair. At Holland Shades, you and your family are in good hands.
So we just to put it in perspective, there's a lot of independence, a general word. We do about 12 to 14,000 ROs a year with only 13 full-time employees. So we're fully independent, like through and through. Sometimes that's more difficult nowadays because some of the tools to stay relevant are very expensive. I know the tool thing came up as well. The tool thing's really changed, and it's not the generation of the past. If you're in a spot that's not willing to help you with the tools and all that, that's becoming more common. We changed our view on the tool thing long ago, and every dollar our employees put into their tools is one they're not taking home. And there's a lot of specialty tools now. There's a lot of wear and tear on them and stuff like that. So the tool thing is just one that I think that's one more common. If you don't have a place that's willing to at least give you the tools to do your profession on their property, something you should push them for. Do you have the baby? You know, many of the baby pics or Paul or Greg?
Hey, I didn't want to put your family stuff out there. So one thing, I invited Tim. Me and Tim became friends through CABA, which is Chesapeake Automotive Business Association, which is a nonprofit.
Yes,
Right?
Chesapeake Automotive Business Association was founded in the 1960s, and we're reestablishing, regrowing, and this year, probably the first year, we're going to host a high school all-star kind of showcase, probably in the new year, January, February. You'll be one of the first ones, try to do a team kind of structure to it.
So that's a group of local businesses. He said they're obviously independent out in the Baltimore County area. One of the reasons I invited him here is because he does a lot to support the people in the business through that CABA group, right? They have, social events. They go out to racetracks. They do all this stuff to support technicians because we're like a family, even though we don't all work for the same company or brand. We're all the same type of people. We just wear a different shirt. And it also shows you that, you're here in Frederick County, and these are a majority of Frederick County businesses, but there's shops all over the world that are hiring technicians or need technicians. So don't feel like because you're at Frederick County CTC and there's 10 people from Frederick County here, those are your only options right there. Tim works closely with the Community College of Baltimore where Julian is going. He pulls students from there to mentor and stuff, but there's shops all over the place. You're going to see a very, very small sliver of what I deal with or I work with, but it gets even exponentially more out there. The opportunities are,
I got a few Ford stores around the nation.
few.
It's kind of like McDonald's. You can't go too far without seeing a Ford, right?
Yep.
Ford dealership.
It came up earlier, the level of effort you put in, this is truly, the performance and production in a positive way. Age, if you come in and you learn and you stay focused, after 3 to 5 years, you blink your eyes, your world will be different in a good way if you put everything you have into it. There's too much opportunity. That the change coming now is immense. I guess one of the ones that I believe that in this profession is finally being compensated the way it's deserved for a long time. So if you come across someone more traditional or older that kind of has a negative sentiment towards this industry, there was a time that I probably couldn't have said that, but more so ever than now, this industry is finally being compensated the way that it's hard work. There's no way to sugar. It's a difficult line of work. It's hot. The AC is obviously a super nice touch, but most of it's not. You're still out there getting the cars. You're still getting in a car that's 115 degrees in the parking lot. One of the ones I've noticed too is there's just certain. I feel one of the most commonly represented people that came from line chefs and kitchen environments, as well as the military, are ones that when you follow up people that stuck with it and they're in their 40s and 50s and this is clearly their life's calling. Usually there's more of those routes, and all I can just liken to is the pressure driven. These are people's cars. Stuff has to be done in a timely fashion. It can be a stressful line of work. But with that said, the opportunities there.
Technicians that I always dealt with are negative because their vacation house needs a roof, the motor in their speedboat's blown up, or the Harley dealer doesn't have the Harley they want in their color, so they're just generally grumpy people. But they're not really grumpy for a legitimate reason. They're grumpy because they just have really high expectations.
You have to be comfortable and you have to be able to perform in less than ideal conditions sometimes. It's raining, the winter time, you're touching everything. It's extra cold as you're touching things. In the winter times, it's super more painful than usual. And you get used to it. And there's the earned experience comes fast. The last one I guess I'll leave on is just it goes back to the continued learning. Please don't think when you graduate from this program or
My great-grandfather started Holland Shades Automotive with a simple.
The training programs that the dealer, your employer is going to send you, don't think that because you came out of there that it's finished. These cars, even for veteran experienced people, you'll do the same job 15 times, and on the 16th time, it will kick you in the rear end. And all I would just say is when that happens, you owe it to yourself to go figure out why and come out better and more experienced on the other side. Thank you all for your time.
Go for it. I'll try to keep it.
They're all kind of worthless. All right, what's up, guys? My name's Drew. I'm Regional Sales Manager of Fast and Emergency Vehicles. I'll spend a little bit just kind of glossing over who we are and what we do, and then I'll kind of go into why I'm here and why I'm passionate about this. So first and foremost, we are one of the foremost manufacturers of apparatus in the country. We're just across the river, so we're in Loudoun County. We're in Percival, Virginia. We've been in business since '95, incorporated in '97. We get whole new chassis from the manufacturers, and we build them completely turnkey. Custom center consoles, overhead consoles, electrical systems, lighting, graphics, the whole kit and caboodle. It's all custom. We work with some pretty highbrow stuff, so everything's automated. We have CNC routers, it's all CAD design, CNC cut, and all that fun stuff. Here's an example. So we write isometric drawings. We have CNC benders, full fabrication, aluminum shop in house, all kinds of stuff. There's an example of like one of the cabinets that we build. We incorporate a lot of technology in them, like touchscreen, lots of stuff. This is really super important, but kind of gets the idea across of what we do. Lighting, again, that one was a command vehicle. This is more for paramedics. We do full replacement bodies on pickup truck chassis. We do a lot of brush trucks, so lift kits, big wheels and tires, winches, all that fun stuff. This truck here, this is like a super single truck, so 335, 80, or 20 Unimog tires, bead-locks, and over fenders, and the whole 9 yards. So we do a lot of pretty neat stuff. Do a lot of vans. This is an EOD bomb disposal van, so like a little robot rides up and down the ramp and then eats bombs and explodes. It's a lot of federal stuff given our proximity to DC. This is kind of where, kind of the higher end stuff comes in. We have our own multiplex OB2 integrated system that we install on all of our vehicles. Everything on the truck is controlled with a touchscreen. That all lives in the overhead console that we fabricate. We have onboard coolers for narcotics. Here's an example of set screen. Again, all of this stuff we build, and it's all custom tailored to whatever the municipality or fire chief we're working with. Now, why I'm here is because I started with this company when I was 20 years old, part-time. I grew up in a junkyard. I was always wrenching on stuff. My dad had a towing company, so I knew how to tune an L-Block carburetor, and that's about it. I started here building the cabinets, then transitioned to TIG welding, doing all the aluminum stuff, then transitioned to doing some electrical engineering, and then sales. That was all in 7 years, and those are all skills I learned there on the job. The guy who turned us on to this program, he can't be here today, hence why I'm here. He started at the company sweeping floors. Within 3 years, he sits at the desk next to me, and he is the manager of parts. So, the people above me have, kind of seen the value in young talent, and now we're trying to invest heavily into it. When I first started there, everyone there was to my senior at least a decade. Now, we have, lots of guys who are in their early 20s, making really good money, doing cool stuff, and they, really enjoy it. The guy who replaced me doing all the welding, I taught him what I could. We sent him off to college. He went through Blue Ridge because I was closer to his house up in West Virginia. Fully paid for. He signed on with us for like 3 years. He has a whole welding certificate. He sent guys we have something in this industry called EVTs, which are kind of emergency vehicle equivalents of ASEs. We'll put you up for those. You'll do everything and be a certified EVT master technician in pumps, lighting, law enforcement vehicles. They have a bunch of different certs you can get in the catalog. That's really kind of about it. We're here again trying to foster young talent because we've seen that these guys come in and they're hungry. All the guys who are above me, who are 10, 20 years older than me, they're all gone. All the guys who are younger than me, they've been there 4 or 5 years. So we're expanding. We've really having a big push, get a new shop. We do a lot of turnover. We have a lot of business, and it's hard to keep up when you're putting out 250 trucks a year out with like 30 dudes on a good day. Again, so we're starting this thing where we have guys come in either part-time or as apprentices. They'll make harnesses. They'll do the wiring. They'll tear apart trim of brand new vehicles. They'll do like quality of life stuff that helps our technicians, get the trucks out the door quicker, and also learns a lot of really good skills. I like this company a lot when I first started there because I got to play with stuff that I wouldn't have had the opportunity to otherwise. I learned AutoCAD and Defender, all that stuff. I learned all the nesting software to run the CNC router. Because of that, I was able to do some personal stuff, like build some cool bumpers from the trucks, and all kinds of stuff like that. It's a nice family-oriented company because we're super, super small. A lot of certain race cars and stuff. So we all close up at 4 o'clock and we'll pull a CTSV in or do something or put a blower on, whatever. It's cool working with a bunch of like-minded guys who really out there just trying to make some money and build cool stuff. That's kind of why I'm here.
What's that, about 25, 30 minutes down the road?
I took the slow way here because I was driving a super death wobbly Jeep today because I'm trans out of the truck. And it took me about 40 minutes to get here. Okay. But if you took 70, you could probably do that in 20 minutes.
So, and you said, oh, that stuff's not that, whatever, blah, 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 as you skipped over those. I kind of feel like a lot of that stuff you see there is pretty important. Fire equipment, EMS equipment, I see those things blasting around all the time, so.
Yeah, well, all this, this is all life-saving equipment. A lot of guys that we get people funnel into the company from two avenues. It's either you're kind of like me and you have a background of just wanting to build neat stuff, or you're a firefighter paramedic and you kind of want to work on it. They mesh actually pretty well. I'm a little biased. I think we're better at it than they are, but it is. But like this truck here, we fully fabricate the body in-house. All the interior compartment is all customizable by the end user. All these walls are false and they can be repurposed to go anywhere. We can build new interior compartments for this truck on a whim if they decide they need to put new equipment in there. Like these trucks here, these things come off the truck from us from GM and they're completely stock. We put all the lighting on them, build cabinets, and it's fun, it's neat. Growing up as a poor kid, I never thought I'd be able to work on brand new stuff, and here we are, basically drilling giant holes in brand new vehicles. So it's a little unnerving at first, but it offers unique opportunities for sure. That's all I got.
Any questions?
So if you guys are curious, I have a bunch of this literature back here. I'll probably leave it with them. And yeah.
Cool. Thank you. All right, Mike, come on up. And where's Bradley? I know he's probably hiding. Where's he at? There he is. Okay. Come on.
How y'all doing? Thanks again for having us. I want to just echo a little bit about what Tim was saying from Holland Shades. Tim's real passionate, business fourth generation. You guys have choices. Got Jimmy here over 100 years, his family business. You've got myself over 20, Holland Shades 50. I mean, you got a lot of choices. If you go down the dealership road, it's fine. If you go down the independent road, it's fine. Here's the difference. It's our responsibility to keep you moving forward in what you want to do. We're all here because we want this industry to succeed. We want technicians to be prosperous. We want technicians to grow. Tim hit it on the money. It's not our responsibility to force you to get the education. You got to want it. And if you want it and you work hard for it, you will be rewarded. I promise you. All of our good technicians, I can tell you, they're making a really, really good living. I sign their paychecks, okay? And we've got 3 locations here in Frederick, but it's our responsibility. If you're not happy with Tire World or Tony Town Tire, or you're not happy with Holland Shades, we'll find you another job. I know people all over the country. Jimmy can pick up a phone right now and find you a dealer in Florida. I guarantee it. If he can't make you happy and you find a girlfriend in Florida or a boyfriend or significant whatever, we'll get you a job somewhere else. I know the Black's family, okay, Black Tire down there in Carolina. He's got 50 independent retail stores. Black's Tire is owned by a family business. We can place you after you're placed here if you want to move somewhere else. All these owners in this room have connections in every state in this country, some outside the country, okay? So get your education here. Work hard, because nothing's worth anything if you don't work for it. You guys can laugh at this, but I've been in this industry 51 years. Like, just no way. Since I was 15 years old. Okay, that's when I started. At a gas station, mountain balancing tires on a bubble balancer. You've never seen one probably. 3-pod triangle balance, you put the weight here and it's like, okay, and changing oil in cars, pumping gas. Okay, we all start from somewhere, but be passionate about what you do. And if you're passionate, it will pay off. The education's here. We're all willing to support you on the dealer level, on the independent level. We have the resources to help you guys. Okay, we've had a couple come through. You want to say anything about where we we are right now, and of course, you can criticize us too, because if we're not meeting your expectations, I need to know about it. Every owner and every manager needs to know if either we set the wrong expectations when you come to work for us, or we didn't meet the expectations that we set for you. That's our responsibility. Don't get all disgruntled and say, this place sucks. Sometimes people say that. Okay, you want to move on, so let's address the problem first. We made a promise to you, we didn't keep it. And if I don't know about it, well, my managers are going to hear it. I guarantee Jose's standing back there. If there's a problem in the shop and Jose doesn't know about it, he's going to be upset when he finds out. Am I right, Jose? Yeah. We're here to support you guys. So, how's it going so far? You just started more or less last couple months?
So I started working at the industry main location this summer. I've enjoyed it. I've learned a lot of new things. Replacing tires has gotten a little bit repetitive, changing oil. I enjoy it though. I also enjoy all the work for me. A couple things that I'd like to change. Like I'd like to start doing some brake works, stuff like that. Because sometimes it gets slow.
So that's why you go to Luis.
Luis, when he's doing state inspections, I go around, poke around, ask him what he's doing.
So most of our guys, to his point, we've taken them from like a program like this or from another school system, and we've worked them up. So I've got two guys now, they're with me 16 years and 11 years, Daniel and Kyle. Both of them came from nothing, just like we all came from. Okay, we start somewhere.
They're in there, Mike. You got slides in there, but a little bit further towards the end, yeah.
Hey, there's Daniel. He started me the day I opened my doors out on Route 26. We did all changes. Okay, we were at that point where Lincoln Mercury, when Pete Adcock owned it, Daniel came and worked for me. He's been here ever since. He failed the Maryland State Inspection 3 times, the written test. 2 times he failed the hand test. Kyle failed it twice too, but they're state inspectors now. And that's our responsibility to help you. We pay for that. We give you incentives to grow. And everybody has their own program. The bottom line is we all care about doing the right thing to try to help you. And we are not perfect. I'm definitely not. Okay? But it's our responsibility to help you get where you want to go. First I heard it. You want to start doing it? Well, we need to do that for you. Okay? We need to let you grow and work towards what you want to do. But it's got to come from you. You got to tell us what you want to. We can ask. But like when I talk to my kids now that are in their 30s, they don't tell you everything, right? You're not always honest. You're not always forthcoming with what you want and needs and desires are. So we're here just to say we're here to help. You go to work for Holland Chain, great. You go to work for Jimmy, great. You go to work for Jose, Wayne, those guys, great. If it's not quite working out, talk to them before you make a decision. Let them help you steer through and navigate what's on your mind, okay? So you can be better at what you do, focus on what you're doing at work. There's distractions. Like Tim said, you got 15 jobs run perfect. That 16th one, you busted 3 knuckles, you broke the stud in the engine, okay, on the block. Now what do? You throw a wrench, you get upset. Go to one of the guys that's had a little more experience. Let's get out of that mess. The first thing we do is try to do something instead of thinking it through. Take a deep breath. Everything can be repaired. I'm telling you, everything. So I own a collision center here. I've tried it for 10 years, all Divide Dimensions. We can fix anything. Okay? Anything can be fixed. So all I want to say is keep doing what you're doing. Ask questions. If you're not happy or you want more education, let us know. We've got Ford in town to train. We got the Hunter Training Center that Gary Wilfong's at now. A lot of you have probably gone through Gary's training over at the Hunter Center. So much education is here in Frederick. And then you got Baltimore. I mean, we've got so much education within a 40-mile radius. Take advantage of it. Make us do our job as owners and managers to help you be better. Any questions for anybody, really? Because now I'm the last guy.
Bradley, where were you last year?
You mean?
On Career Awareness Night.
Oh, sitting.
Sitting right there, right? With your little brother, little sister, right? Your whole family, right? Listening to the same thing. Now where are you? Right. Working, doing. Was it immediate? No, but it happened, right?
it's our job to keep everybody engaged that works for us. Some days we don't hit the mark. Not hitting the mark. So now some changes coming tomorrow morning. So thanks again, everybody. I appreciate it. And all the shops in town, let's just keep working together because at the end of the day, we are not competitors. I can look Jose in the eye. We're not competitors. We all have our niche, and there's plenty of customers. We just need technicians to want to be technicians and grow. So
There's plenty of work here.
Hi, everyone. How are you all tonight? It's been a long evening. My name is Nicole St. Louis, and I gotta tell you, up until about 3 minutes ago, I was panicked to be in front of you guys because I am what is called a personnel officer. I am not a vehicle mechanic. I've never been a vehicle mechanic, but I am responsible for the hiring of vehicle mechanics at Frederick County Public Schools. And so I'm standing in the back listening to everybody, and this gentleman is standing next to me the whole time, just paying attention and going, and I just stepped out to use the restroom, came back, and he's like, "Hey, Nicole, I'm Brandon. You just hired me. I'm here to be here tonight with you." So I am so thankful that Brandon can talk to you more about what it means to be a vehicle mechanic here with Frederick County Public Schools. So when I come out, I come talk to everybody, especially I try to come out to all the CTC events because most people think that I hired teachers. I have been in public education for 17 and a half years, and I have never hired a teacher. There's a lot of behind the scenes work that happens at Frederick County Public Schools that is not certificated or teacher related. And it is to allow you guys to continue your education without any bumps or stops in the road. So for vehicle mechanics, we actually have a transportation department that we hire vehicle mechanics, we have tire mechanics, we have a fleet maintenance manager. We have all kinds of people working behind the scenes because with our transportation department, we own every single one of our buses here at Frederick County. We own them, we maintain them, we work on them, we inspect them, but we also have a business fleet. So we have all of our, Ford trucks, whatever kind of trucks. We have minivans because we have a lot of people, cars, because we actually have a lot of people that use those to go from site to site. We've got 69 school locations. And we have an entire maintenance department that has a fleet of vehicles. We have an IT department that has a fleet of vehicles, all kinds of things here at Frederick County Public Schools. So I'm going to really quick talk to you about why we're so great and why you should want to work for us, because I come and talk to you guys and I talk in front of you guys at the career fairs, and I'm often told I am out of here. I'm not coming back to Frederick County. I'm going to work over at Ford or Frederick Motor Company or all these other places that are wonderful places, but I bet you they can't beat our benefits. And I'm here. I'm so glad that parents and guardians are in here because you guys are going to see our benefits and probably nudge them along. So you're going through your program. You're not quite there for us yet because one of the things that happens with our vehicle mechanics is we train you to get your CDL, and we pay. We actually have trainers on site for you to get your CDL, but the reason for that is you got to be able to drive these buses. So we do have a wide variety of work. Our diesel buses, we actually now have 2 electric buses, which are pretty awesome. Are you going to take them over, or has this class been able to
has, but we
see
took
them yet?
last year's class.
Yeah.
On the electric buses to the garage and did a field trip.
Yeah, so it's really, really cool. We were really excited to be able to get those electric buses. But then, as I mentioned, we have the business fleet. So we have a wide variety of work for you to learn, all kinds of technologies here. We do have a work-life balance. Many of the individuals that do not come to us right away, but have come to us afterwards, have been some CTC grads. And one of the biggest things they said is they were looking for work-life balance. They're sick of working weekends. They're sick of working really late days. So we do work Monday through Friday, and we have a generous paid time off. Our total paid time off, if you were to take every single day that you are offered, you get a total of 39 days off with Frederick County Public Schools. But you're paid 260. So you'll work 246 days out of the year, but you're paid for 260 days. We have wonderful health, dental, vision, and retirement. How many of you want to work like for the next 40 years? Anybody? We only got 2 people that want to work for 40 years? Wow.
40 more.
You guys want to work for 40 years? Wow, good for you guys. I don't. I can retire at 51 because I started with this pension system. We have one of the best pension systems that you can join and be a part of. It's great to start young with Frederick County. I know it means nothing to you guys. I promised you when I started, retirement meant nothing to me too. Now that I'm getting older, my child just graduated high school. She's in college now. And the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it's going to be really nice that she'll be out of college for quite some time. And I'll be able to retire and have plenty of time to pay off anything that I need to pay off for there. And I can go do something else if I wanted to. Parents, you're upfront. Health and dental is probably one of those big things that the kids don't really get either, because you guys get to be on your parents' insurance till you're 26. But with us, dental insurance is 100% free if it's just you, so there's no charge to your dental. You don't have to pay anything out of pocket, out of your paycheck. And your health insurance is only roughly around $20 a paycheck for you. So parents, you might want to tell them to get a job with us so you can get them on your health insurance. Then, of course, like everybody else, we do have tuition assistance and tuition reimbursement. Our tuition assistance is not just for college coursework. It can be for any certification. So if you come on board with us and you want to get some more of those ASE certifications, we will pay for it. We also have many partnerships, direct pay partnerships. We actually have one with FCC. They'll bill us your tuition directly, so you don't have to pay anything out of pocket and wait for it to come in. And we only require you to remain with us for 2 years after you receive the tuition reimbursement as well. So that's my little spiel. When you graduate high school, please don't forget about the public school system that you just spent many years of your life in for employment. So I have Brandon here. Brandon, what day was your first day? Was it the 20th? Monday of last week. He's literally brand new, but he used to be a CTC student. So I'm going to let Brandon just quickly talk to you about what it was like making the jump coming here to FCPS and what the shop's like.
So fresh out of high school, I worked for a little mom and pop shop for 4 years. I didn't have any benefits there. No pay time off. I got sick. I was hurting myself. I went on vacation. Hurting myself. I wasn't getting any money in my pocket. As far as I can remember, when I started high school, my parents pushed me on a county job, and I'm sure a lot of you, your parents are really nudging you on something. You kind of want to go your own route. You're not going to listen to them. I'm very glad I did listen to them because Monday through Friday, no weekends. It's great place to work. People are amazing. It's not hectic, not a lot of stress on you. Obviously, yes, you're working, but it's very relaxed. There's absolutely no stress, no worry. Our main priority is keeping you guys safe from kindergarten, 12th grade, the drivers, everybody else out on the road. School buses are the #1 safe vehicle out on the road.
What's it like at the shop?
Can
you talk about that?
Very laid back, like I said. There is heat. There's no air conditioning, sadly. There is no air conditioning.
It's actually right down the street.
I was about to say it's 2-3 minutes away. And work-life balance. My hours. There's 2 shifts. There's 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. With an hour lunch break, and my shift is 10:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. This month we're doing bus inspections, so I've been coming in at 7 a.m., working 7 a.m. to 7:30, and from 7 a.m. to 10:30 is overtime. So that's another great thing. There is, from just what I've seen, there's an unlimited amount of overtime. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. It's a 4-bay shop. One of the bays has a pit for oil changes, fluid maintenance, anything under the vehicle where you don't want to go on a creeper, you can just walk right down under, which is really amazing because today I was on a creeper for about an hour, and being underneath there, you kind of get a little stiff, so being able to walk under, and there's plenty of room. All the tools are provided for you. You're more than welcome to bring your own tools in. I believe there is a budget that we have for tools. Tool trucks come, or we have Mac, Matco, Snap-on, and Cornwell. They come Tuesday through Friday, so Monday they don't show up. Like I said, you don't need to bring your own tools. All your tools are provided for you.
Reimbursement for safety glasses
Yes.
and safety boots.
Yes. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I believe you got to be there for 2 years to get the.
You can get them every 2 years.
Every 2 years. Sorry, you can get them every 2
pair
years. What else do I add? They have a vending machine in the shop that has safety. Not food. It's not food. It's not food. It's safety glasses, electrical tape, wire wheels, PB blaster, brake clean, all that kind of handy stuff. You get like a little ID number, just punch it in, and you don't have to ask anybody. You don't have to call parts or anything. Another big thing is we have our own partner in there that almost stocks pretty much everything in there. Obviously, we're going to engine transmissions, rear ends, stuff like that. But have our own tire shop. Tires are delivered to us. We have a tire man that will, put them on for you. Today I had to do 4 rear tires in the bus. They weren't aired up, so I had to take 30 minutes out of my life to air up the tires. It's nothing. It's very relaxed. The only thing, the business fleet, they have one mechanic for that. His name is Mikey. I don't know how long he's been there, but he's the only technician for the business fleet. They're mainly looking for school bus mechanics. And when I went in there and for my interview, I told him, I've never worked on a school bus a day in my life. I came from CTC as an automotive technician. Working in the automotive field ever since I was 16. Never touched a school bus, and I was very, very minimum exposure to heavy diesel. But they will teach you anything you want to learn there. All the guys in there are great, very well trained. And yeah, I've been there since last Monday, and I absolutely love it. And it is a great, great place to work. I'm very happy. I decided to listen to my parents and go towards the county job.
Thank you, Brandon. And if Mr. Hicks, if it's okay, I could put one more plug in there. I am also a member of the Women in Trades Committee, and one of the biggest crusades that I have been on for the past couple of years is increasing women in the trades. And I'm so happy to see women in here. So I'm hoping to see you guys in the future break the barrier here at FCPX. We just hired our first women plumbing apprentice. So I'm hoping that I can see you guys in the future when you guys are ready, because I am one of those running full force. So it's a great committee, and it's not just for students. We are, so spread the word, we are there for all women of all ages that want to get into the trades.
Yeah, the website's going to go live probably this month.
We're shooting for November.
Okay, so next month. So.
November. But if you search Frederick County Women in Trades, it'll direct you to our Facebook group for now, and feel free to join and get lots of information.
How many buses? How many buses does the county have?
Oh,
wow.
That's on him. He has to.
Too new.
No, hold on. I think I know.
At least 1,476.
No, that's the year.
Yeah,
So,
come on.
the beginning of the number here, 2014. We keep buses in service for 10 years, and then they go to an extended life for another 2 years. I believe we have 450 buses, I think. I believe there's a lot of buses. We have a bus line. A lot of drivers take the buses home. That's another thing. Road calls are a thing.
That's why you need your CDL.
Yeah. So you need your CDL obviously to pull the buses in, be able to road test them. You will have to get certified.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Jordan was working there before you had a CDL.
So
I don't have my
here's the
CDL.
deal.
Right. You just
You
need
don't
to
have
drive.
to have your CDL yet. The thing is with the CDL, so nobody panics, but you have to be so sometimes they break down, or sometimes it's an all hands on deck situation, and everybody in the transportation department drives the buses. But if you are not 21 and yet don't have at least 5 years of driving experience, you will never have to drive the buses with the students in it. So you don't need the
And-
CDL like immediately. They'll train you up.
But with the whole, with all hands on deck, they have service trucks, they're just F-250s. So as long as you have a driver's license, you can drive those. Last week I went on a road call to Lincoln High School, and coworkers drove the bus. I drove behind them in the service truck. Service truck has tools. We went to the school, made the repair that was needed to at least get it back on the road, and took it back to the shop.
So thank you, everyone. I'm in the back of the
All right, one more presenter, then we're done. I don't have a slide for him, but he's very important because it's another unique opportunity that we just started in the spring here. We want to see grow. So, Walt, go ahead and introduce yourself and your guest.
Thank you all for staying tonight. Thank you for inviting us. We're from Maryland Department of Transportation, State Highway Administration. This year, we put together a program that is going to be the future of how State Highway starts hiring all their employees, which is the apprenticeship program. My background is when I was your age, I was in the automotive program in Anne Arundel County. I grew up in automotive. My grandfather had an auto shop. My father and I, we had an automotive engine, high-performance machine shop. So I grew up racing cars, boats, circle track cars, everything. So basically, as my career took off, my apprenticeship ended up from automotive, and I went to work for Baltimore Gas Electric Company. And I worked in there. That actually was really good. I got into their engineering program through mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and then I had another idea. So my advice is do not follow my career path because it's all over the place, okay? But when I came back to State Highway, this opportunity was presented to us to see if it would actually work. And what we looked at was this opportunity will work. So we're the first and only state agency that has a youth apprenticeship in, right now it's up and running. Okay, so we actually have students that are coming on board in the 18th of October that will be in the automotive, we call it heavy equipment maintenance technician program that we have. So with that being said, what we've done is we've looked at all the opportunities we have. Naturally, being a pilot program, I was only supposed to start with one county. Well, then I wasn't going to let that stop me. So now we're in 8 counties plus Baltimore City. So my position in Baltimore City is I'm the chief of workforce development. We create these programs. We try to get the students involved, and we work with all the counties across the state. The neat thing about the program is that we have 27 locations across the state. So when you come on board with State Highway, it's not just a job. We offer a career choice. So what we do is this program comes in, you work with us throughout the school year. Naturally, it comes to an end at the end of it. So what we've done is I've created a transitionary position. Has anyone in here ever applied for the state of Maryland? Any adults, any parents? It is so hard to get in because it takes 6-7 months. It's crazy. It is just so hard. Well, what we've done is because if the students that come on board with us, if you perform, there's 3 things I really look for. It's the attitude, accountability, and performance. Okay. That's basically the requirement, and that's what we're looking for because we have a very unique situation. But we did put a transitionary period because to qualify for state employment, there's a lot of things, a lot of check boxes that have to have. So after the school program, we'll continue that on if the shop chiefs would continue when they're. So we made it so it's easy to stay and then get into the full-time position. Yes, our benefits are great. We have paid time off, sick leave, personal days, holidays. Probably not as many as Frederick County, but we're pretty close.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it is pretty close. So that's basically what we've done. The other thing with State Highway is in Maryland Department of Transportation, there's 12,000 jobs across the state in transportation. So the sky's the limit. And what we look at is this opportunity. If you're looking for a job to make the most amount of money you can, go with one of our, our other guests that are here today, because that's their nature. They flat rate, we do not. We have responsibility to the people of Maryland. State highways or any road that has a number on it. So 15, 70, all Route 40, 695, all of them, that's a state highway. We have to maintain them, we repair them, but within that being said, there's a whole lot of equipment that we use. Okay, so our opportunity is one day you're gonna work on a weed whacker, next day you're gonna work on a diesel truck, next day it's a gas car, next day it's a lawn, there's no 2 days alike that's in the shops. So that's the uniqueness of what we have. And then the other thing is, looking down the road for someone looking at a career, it's, career stability, basically job security, because, as long as we have highways and we don't go flying around in cars, we're going to be, pretty good. So we still need the vehicles. No matter what the vehicles are, we have to have a road for them to run, whether electric, gas, diesel, hydrogen, pedals, whatever it is, we have to make sure that we have a road to service them. So with me tonight is Nathan. Nathan is the shop chief right here in Frederick. He basically, he's basically like our shop manager. He runs the whole program there. So he's overseeing all the different types of work that comes in. And he also has a pretty unique story. So Nathan?
My name is Nathan Tice. I graduated from Middletown High School in 2009. I attended CTC here my sophomore and junior year in the welding program. This has been one of the best opportunities I ever had, was coming to this school. It gave me all the tools I needed to start my career. I didn't go direct to the state highway. I worked for Miscellaneous Metals here in Frederick for 4 years. I went and worked for Altech for 4 years. And then I came to the state. I've been with the state for working on 10 years now. I started out at the bottom of the chain with the state. I was a heavy equipment maintenance technician 2. I'm now the shop foreman in less than 10 years. Just about the mechanic field, the automotive field in general, it's a great opportunity for everyone that's in this room. As a student, everyone that's in the back here, this is a great community to be involved with. I'd like to commend Tracy and Sean for everything they've done here. That's, they put out some great mechanics out of here and give you a great start to your career, to your lives. How many students in here think that they'll own their own house within 5 years of graduating high school? Anybody? I was 3 years out of high school before I bought my first house because of my hard work, dedication, this school. It's been awesome. A little bit more about the state. I'm just out of the Frederick shop. I have 46 dump trucks that I'm in charge of, over $15 million worth of equipment that I'm in charge of. So we have everything, like Walt said, from a weed eater, rubber tire loader, dump trucks, cars, trucks, anything you can imagine that's got an engine on it. We work on it, we fix it. We're working on a brand new training program right now, and part of this apprenticeship is going to be part of it. So that's, if you come in with us, sign on with us, you're going to be a pioneer for State Highway. It's a very unique opportunity, and I'm actually going to be part of the training team that they're putting together. So we're just starting it. It's in the works. If anybody's got questions, feel free to come see me, talk to me. Come stop by the shop. We're right on 85 across from the Westview Movie Theater. I'm there every day, so. The overtime is another big thing, as Frederick County Public Schools stated. Obviously, we're state highway. When it's snowing, we're out there doing our thing. That's when the plows are broken. Guess what? No one's going to school. No one's going to work. No one can get to the help they need. That's what we're there for.
Don't tell them that.
What's that?
Don't tell them that. You want your plows fixed.
It's okay. They'll still get fixed, because if not, you'll be hearing from me. So. And it's a great opportunity, guys. It's I wouldn't have traded for the world. So.
We had a student a couple of years ago who apprenticed with the county garage. Same kind of a thing. Now the state is kind of running the same thing, but this is kind of really, near and dear to my heart, because the farm that I grew up on, the guy that owned that farm was a 37-year state highway guy maintaining the rest area. So he went to work every day at the state highway, and he came home and ran the farm, and I learned a lot from him as a kid growing up before I had my driver's license. Just walking down and helping him on the farm. So
10 years ago at State Highway, when I started there, the majority of the shop had over 20 years of experience. 10 years later, I'm the most senior guy in my shop. So that tells you the need for mechanics.
It's indeed, plus there's also, if you come on board with us and say 19, 20 years old, you get into that full-time position. By the time you're 50, you can retire, full benefits, we have a pension plan. So that's a pretty unique situation that a lot of private sector companies do not have. The other thing in our shops is the state pays for 100% of all the tools. There's a lot of special equipment that takes a special branch or whatever, and they want to charge $200-300 for it. The state buys that because it's our obligation to maintain the equipment that we have. So the state has all that. There's probably in the boxes, they're mega boxes, there's probably $60,000, $70,000 worth of tools in there at all times, and there's several boxes throughout the shops. Shops are very clean. One of the things about the pace in the shop is we have to get things done. When it snows, that's State Highway Super Bowl. That's like the Super Bowl for them. They all hands on deck, everybody's in. So there's tons of overtime, but what we have to make sure is if we have an operator who goes out, takes a truck, and he sees this big mountain of snow, and he's going to be funny, and he's going to plow into it, and he does, and he busts the hydraulic lines, that truck has to immediately come right back in to get it repaired. So all hands on deck. So you'll learn hydraulics, hydraulic pumps, transmissions, everything. So it's a very wide range of equipment that you have to get experience on, working with the technicians that are in there. A lot of them are relatively new, so they have a lot of new ideas. But where we really lost a lot of over the years was retirements. 10 years ago, when somebody had 20 years in at State Highway, they got to 30, and guess what they did? They're watching SpongeBob on TV every day. So that's what happens. And that's a benefit of working for the state. So this program, like I've told everyone, it's new. We've probably made a few bumps in the road, but we're trying to smooth them out, trying to make sure that we, doing everything we can to give a great experience. But it is opening up more doors, and the program for next year is going to be even better than the program this year, because what we're trying to do is we do have contracts with CCBC and a couple of the other colleges. Our problem that we run into is being a state agency, we have to put everything out for bid, and sometimes the lowest bid is not where we want to send somebody to go get an education. So we get a little bit, stuck in that situation, but we've developed an internal program. It's based off ASE and a few other training programs. ASE, we use their program. Basically, it's real similar, but we do not get the certifications to them because they would have to bid for that in the state to win the bid, we have to have a contract out there. So it's a little bit more convoluted when it comes to state business like that. Other than that, we're going to be around for a little bit to answer questions. And, we thank you for your time and attendance. It's really appreciative, and we hope we can see some of you with us next year.
All right, thank you for staying. We ran long, right? No shocker there. We were gonna run long, but lots of good information. The next step for the students is the job shadow process. That looks like the student reaches out to whoever they're interested in, starts a line of communication about being interested in the job shadow process. Then they let me know that. We work on a date all together that works for everybody, and then I fill out the paperwork, and you do an all-day job shadow with that employer, and then we'll go over the next step once we get to that. So, any final questions? Otherwise, I'll let you guys go. I know it's late. So,
Is there a minimum age for apprenticeship?
no. So that's a great question, because that's a common assumption that, I don't have my license, I'm not 16 yet, I can't work, I can't do anything with these. My students are going to work all the time without a license and not 16. It just depends on the shop and how desperate they are, how willing to work with the student it is. So what you find, somebody who wants to work that's not 16 yet or doesn't have a license, we can find them a spot to get them started in a shop, absolutely. And the other question that kind of rolls into is, you heard a lot of apprenticeship. The youth apprenticeship is just the youth apprenticeship that Dynamic has, and we talked about Julian going through, and that you'll see FCPS advertised. It's just registered with the state, right? All of our apprenticeships or jobs are paid. Just when you hear apprenticeship, that's the program. If it's a youth apprenticeship with Maryland, they're getting credit with the Department of Labor that they went to work in high school. So that kind of puts them in a way where they can get some free education later down the road if that's the route they want to go. That's the only difference, right? They're going to put them in an apprenticeship program. There might be some other checkpoints and stuff. The youth apprenticeship the hiring process gets handled a little different, but they're the same jobs, the same opportunities. So a lot of students get confused and they're like, oh, wait, I missed the youth apprenticeship window. Now I can't work. No, that's not true. You just, you didn't hit the window that you needed to fill out the paperwork on time to get registered with the Department of Labor and get that for your resume. And then that kind of, like I said, that gets you the next step up on the ladder, which gets you some free college, which you might get for free anyways by filling out your FAFSA data. So the jobs are out there, whether they're youth apprenticeship or not. The work is there. Stuff's not stopping breaking anytime soon. So any questions? Have a great evening. See some of you tomorrow. I'll make it easy. Right, we won't do too many tests tomorrow. So
he said that, not me.
Yeah, so all right, thank you for coming. If you want to, most of the people are still back here. If you want to thank them or have some private questions or some, drop off a resume or whatever, feel free. If not, have a great evening. Thank you for coming. Appreciate your time.
I got one question for you.
That was a good job.
Yeah, I mean, all the students that graduated, all the guys back there.
I was
They've been out for a year. Website that you guys has a Frederick on it. I mean, that's a website. He's 5 years old. He still goes. He still Googles. CTC. He's going to see whoever's hiring. Mr. Schneider and which study? Yeah. We've never done that with automotive. Welding have one, electrical have one. I don't think they're going to do that. Yeah, there were some night classes and stuff for some of the firms, but ever since, even right before COVID, we haven't done that. So, a lot of the FCC's picked up a lot of that stuff. They have a place over by the airport called Mimosa, and that has a lot of the adult stuff. So the classes that used to be here, they were actually kind of like run by the community college. They just use their space. So they have their own space now over by the airport, and they're in those programs.
I don't even know what had
We've totally.
I changed all my school programs so they're much in math too, so I can do my credits. And then I would do like an hour or so autobody. And then by the time I left, I went to go
That's what all those top guys are around. That's what they do. That's that all day CTC thing I talk about senior year. That's the thing that can happen. You don't need the stuff that goes over there. You need to start getting paychecks and get the credits you need. Set yourself up for your guidance teams in your classes. Cool. Thanks for coming. Well, yeah, that's a website. There's a practice quiz on there. Free ASC study guides. There's a practice quiz.
So that's why we started.
You guys got to pick a date.
He told me that that's why I had to come to you.
Well, I need enough time, so it's not going to be this week. It's not going to be next week. But we could probably get it done the week of open house. You ask him what day you think, the day of the week he thinks is best, and I'll get you a date.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
5-minute class. I was going to take Tim down to the shop to see the It's like I said,
Yeah, so you can really go to like
I guess
right down.
Gary's whenever he goes through these guys, yeah, I guess he's graduated.